You walk into a room you've never been in a city you've never visited, and suddenly you're certain you've lived this exact moment before. Same conversation, same lighting, same strange, specific feeling. And then, just as fast as it arrived, it's gone, leaving you slightly unsettled and completely unable to explain what just happened. This is déjà vu, French for already seen. And despite being one of the most universally reported human experiences, roughly 60 to 70% of people report having it, science still doesn't have a fully settled explanation for why it happens. For a long time, déjà vu sat awkwardly at the edge of legitimate research, associated more with mystics and psychics than neuroscientists. That's changed considerably in the last 2 decades. Psychologist Anne Cleary at Colorado State University has spent years actually studying déjà vu in controlled lab conditions, rather than just collecting anecdotes about it. One of her leading theories involves something called Gestalt familiarity. The idea is that a new scene can share a similar spatial layout to something you've genuinely experienced before, even if you can't consciously recall the original memory at all. Picture a hospital waiting room arranged almost identically to your childhood dentist's office. Different city, different decade, completely unrelated situation. But your brain recognizes the underlying layout, the arrangement, without recognizing the specific memory attached to it. Your brain gets a strong hit of familiarity, with absolutely no matching memory to explain where that familiarity is actually coming from. The result is that specific, slightly eerie sensation of certainty without evidence. Cleary's lab experiments have recreated a version of this using virtual reality scenes, deliberately designing new environments that mimic the layout of scenes participants had seen earlier, without the participants consciously noticing the resemblance. Reported déjà vu increased significantly under exactly these conditions. There's a second, quite different theory worth considering as well. This one rooted in basic brain mechanics rather than memory layout. Some researchers believe déjà vu might result from a tiny, harmless glitch in timing, where one part of the brain briefly processes a scene a fraction of a second faster than another part. Under this theory, your brain essentially receives the same fresh information twice in extremely rapid succession, and interprets the tiny delay as evidence the moment must have already happened before. Under this explanation, déjà vu isn't really about memory at all. It's closer to a small hiccup in timing that your brain immediately, confidently misinterprets as prophecy. Here's what makes déjà vu genuinely useful territory for researchers studying memory more broadly, beyond just being an interesting curiosity. Studying it carefully offers a rare, indirect window into how memory retrieval actually works, since it captures the exact moment familiarity and recollection briefly disconnect from each other. Déjà vu also tends to decline noticeably with age, which is itself a genuinely useful clue. Younger people, whose brains are still actively developing stronger connections between memory-related regions, report it far more frequently than older adults. Some researchers interpret this pattern as evidence that déjà vu might actually be a small sign of a healthy brain quietly double-checking itself, briefly flagging a false memory match, and then correctly dismissing it almost instantly. Under that reading, déjà vu isn't a glitch at all. It might be your brain's error-checking system working exactly the way it's supposed to, and you're simply catching it in the act. Which raises a stranger question than the one we usually ask about this. Maybe the real mystery isn't why déjà vu happens occasionally. Maybe it's how many other tiny memory errors your brain corrects silently, every single day, without ever once alerting you that anything happened at all.